Hi, this is Gloria and I'm Rebecca and we are couples therapists and this is the third video in a series where we are tackling common problems that couples face around the holidays with some tips and suggestions for how to help you navigate them. So today, the problem that we are addressing is clashing holiday traditions. When the way that you celebrate and the way that your partner celebrate just don't quite line up.
Yeah, so this is a pretty hard one for anybody, especially maybe we haven't looked at recognizing that not everybody celebrates the way that we do, or even perhaps some holidays just kind of fall on the same timeline, but there's something that maybe we haven't tried before, haven't been introduced to. So very important piece of this is first, just if when you start the conversation, remember your relationship with your partner. Remember their feelings matter. Remember your feelings matter too. But we want to go in the conversation with openness, understanding, and not making this a debate. Like we're not trying to be the most right. It's not about who's the most right. It's definitely coming from a place with the intention of understanding and trying to see really the importance of what they're saying. So a lot of this is going to we're going to be practicing a lot of that effective listening that all of us kind of need to get refined at a little bit. So lots of listening, understanding, and really recognizing. We also have to practice those I statements again. The I statements come in really well, really handy. They come in
Like to
it's
help
just
you
a
keep the
really good.
focus on this is what I feel, this is what my perspective is, rather than like attacking the other person or blaming them or criticizing the way that their family does it.
Yeah, it helps us keep our side of the street our side of the street. We're not trying to put
Mhm.
words into anybody else's mouth or anything like that. It's just our side of the street.
Right. And then say more about prioritizing feelings. You kind of mentioned before that that was something that was important.
Yeah, so I get with the holidays, there's just like some traditions are so important to us,
Mhm.
and that we just really want to share that with our partner and really have them feel that. But we also have to recognize like they too may feel very much the same, but about their holiday traditions, about their stuff, whatever that they want to introduce into your lives together. So it's really recognizing like, yes, yours is important, but also your partner's feelings about these things are important too.
Mhm. I think this is important to remember when you've been together with your partner for a long time. It's easy for us to think about splitting the holidays or these clashing traditions as being something that a conversation you only need to have once, the first time that you and your partner celebrate the holidays together, and then it's over and done. But like people change a lot. Sometimes maybe you don't speak up for really what you wanted the first time, so you're being really accommodating for your partner, or people's beliefs shift and the holidays they want to celebrate or the way that they want to celebrate them can change. And so it's important to have these conversations all along, and also to remember that you're dealing with the person that you love, and that how everybody feels about it matters, and that you don't get too caught up in like the right or wrong of it, but that you're focusing on that feeling side. And then
Yes.
we want to move into some other tips here, one of those being flexibility.
Yeah. So it kind of goes back to, right, like we're not the way that we celebrate is not the most right. It's like not how everybody celebrates. So going in with recognizing that um openness again, when we start getting this perspective from our partner and really being flexible in what the holiday could potentially look like, finding alternatives to it. It's very hard to have an open conversation when we're very one-sided fixated, that we're already on our own side and we're not really allowing new information to come in. So when it comes to the holidays, flexibility is absolutely key, especially when there's clashing holiday traditions, because holidays don't always have to look one way. Yes, we may have celebrated for many years one way, but they don't always have to look like that.
Right. And we know from other topics where couples need to compromise that just that small shift from being completely inflexible to being willing to compromise or being willing to shift is one of the most important things that you can do to get unstuck with your partner. We also want to withhold judgment and criticism. Say more about that.
Yeah, I think that was pretty straightforward. It's just making sure it's not tit for tat. It's not a debate. It's definitely not trying to prove your point as most correct holiday traditional stuff. It's just openness. It's understanding the intention of just wanting to know your partner better, of wanting to know what they find is important. Where are they willing to flex too? What's their mindset about all these things? So when we go in with some good intentions, and we're, even if we accidentally say something that is like judgy or critical or what have you, because sometimes it happens, we're not perfect. It's owning up to it that is so important. Owning up to it, taking accountability for it, asking even for forgiveness. If you're like, I'm sorry, I didn't even mean to say that, but I want to repair this. Can we start the conversation again? Or can we approach this like a different way? Because again, when we're coming from that place of understanding and openness, even flexibility, this stuff, even when we cross that line and we accidentally say something that came off as judgy or critical, it can be more easily repaired.
Right, right. And it's also remembering to treat your partner the way that you would want to be treated. You don't want them to have judgments or to be really critical about the things that matter to you. Maybe you think this is silly. Maybe you know, whatever you think about it, it matters to me. This is a thing that's important about my holiday tradition or the way that I want to do things. And I want you to understand that and work together with me. That's how you want to be treated. And so you got to be willing to treat your partner the same way, to look at their opinions, their preferences, their traditions with some curiosity and with a willingness to honor what that means to the other person, even if you see it differently or you don't give that particular thing the same weight. And then we get into, okay, so we're understanding, we're remembering the relationship, we've listened to each other, then like, but what do you actually do? How do you make the conflict happen?
So, okay, we talked about it, hashed out, pretty good stuff. Now we're going to look for what are compromisable items and what are uncompromisable items. Sometimes we have something that we're just like, I cannot flex on this one. Like I am willing to flex a whole bunch in other areas, but this is the one thing that I just absolutely can't. It's just really recognizing the value and importance our partner's giving to that thing that they're not willing to flex, and it's not a compromisable thing. So I really like that you said about that curiousness, because once we're curious and we totally see like how much value is invested in this thing that is uncompromisable, that helps us come from a better place of understanding and really recognizing this thing is so important to my partner. I just want to support them and make sure that they feel that they're getting the best holiday whatever it is that they can get, and being respectful about it as well. Holidays may not always look the same every single year, may not always involve the same things all the time. So there are pieces where we can compromise one year and maybe next year we revisit it. And it's a compromisable thing. So it's not always going to be one way, but finding these pieces is going to be absolutely important. So we can figure out, how do we meet in the middle here? When I see the value in an uncompromisable thing, and then I see the value in an uncompromisable thing as well. So we can try to figure out, how do we meet each other halfway?
Yeah, and if you need a tool or a visual to think about this, you can imagine being like a donut or a bagel, where in the center, you're gonna, and you might even write this down if you need to before you and your partner sit down to talk about it. Like, hey, we're each going to do our thing. What is the thing in the center that I just can't compromise on? It's so important that there's no flexibility. And then around that, there may be other things that are important to you, but that there is some room for there to be a little bit of flex or some creativity or some compromise or whatever. And then you share those things with each other and see what creative ideas spark from there. If there's ways that both, because the best case scenario is that we get to honor both partners' non-compromise issue, and then everyone is getting the most important thing for them, and we can be more generous in flexing on the other things when we know that our partner is honoring the thing that matters the most to us. If you are stuck with your partner in figuring out how to manage these clashing holiday traditions or any other issue in your relationship where you just can't find compromise, where it feels like you're gridlocked and stuck, couples therapy is a fantastic way to help people get through that so that we can find solutions to these things and repair the hurts in your relationship. And this doesn't have to be something that you deal with that festers, where resentment grows for years and years. And if you'd like to see if we would be a great fit for helping you solve some of those problems, you can check us out at iecouplescounseling.com. You can schedule a time for a free phone consultation there. And also, we have lots of other free resources on our website to help people out.